shout out to my member Lumos. He is the one that's been really pushing the idea of making a Sinestro video. Initially, for me, the thing with Sinestro is I didn't know that much about him. Obviously, everyone that reads comics knows Sinestro. I just never really got into him. So I decided I might as well look into it since no one's really made content on him. And I checked out his 25 issue New 52 run, and it's crazy. So today we're going to be doing a video on basically the strongest moments from that run. There's about 25, 30-ish so moments Lumos actually helped me pick out. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you want to suggest videos, stuff like that, or talk to me and things of that nature, check out the memberships and drop your Discord tag down below in the comment section. I'll add you and give you more details. But anyways, if you want a lore video on Sinestro where I explain his character and the stories, let me know as well. But today we're really just going over how strong Sinestro is in his New 52 solo run. Now, first feat we're going to talk about is when he goes up against the bishops. Now, the bishops, or pale bishops, were anti-emotion beings who were bringing nothingness to the universe. And when they attacked Sinestro, what they tried to do is overpower him with the strongest version of his emotion, which is fear. So they said they hit him with the truest form of fear possible, and he negged it. That's absolutely crazy when you think about how high up in DC these entities scale and these emotions. Sinestro then confirms later in this run that even when he's weakened, he can neg Parallax. Parallax is easily, for simple terms, a team buster. You know, would destroy Justice League, all that. Sinestro also reveals he actually has Parallax enslaved and bound to his soul, and he one-shots Hal Jordan with it. He then says he did what Hal could not do, which was tame Parallax, because if you remember, Hal lost it when controlled by Parallax and went nuts. Sinestro then goes on to say that he can defeat the Green Lantern Corps by himself with just him and using Parallax as a weapon as well. He then goes on to say that he controls both fear and control itself. In Future's End, Sinestro reveals he can bind souls even as strong as concepts like Parallax to objects and planets. What I mean by this is he took the fear, the true embodiment of fear, Parallax, and he bound it to a planet. That's for ceiling hacks, that's absolutely insane. That's outerversal level ceiling hacks. Moving on, when you get later into the story with Sinestro, he beefs with the New Gods, and during this beef with the New Gods, Highfather, who had the life equation, Sinestro was outwitting them and manipulating them. Sinestro is actually brilliant. I didn't know that before this run, but he's one of the smartest villains I've read in comics. Sinestro also, during this time, is confident he can raid the planet of New Gods and come out just fine. His ring can also auto-ID you and your defenses, even on the scale of characters that are New Gods. He can instantly find out what you do well, all that stuff. He goes on to say during this dispute that the New Gods are not above fear, and that he also shows he bullies Parallax because he uses Parallax to basically one-shot Orion, who's no slouch. And this just shows how crazy of a power jump Sinestro has now that he's truly mastered Parallax. When confronting Highfather, who, like I said, has the life equation, he took multiple hits from Highfather and got back up. Later in the story, after he wins his beef with the New Gods, he pulls up on Warworld and Mongol pretty casually and just starts putting in work against them. When fighting Mongol, he actually remarks that if he wanted to, he could one-shot Warworld and Mongol at the same time using parallax as a weapon. He just decides not to, and you see throughout this run he oftentimes decides to go against using parallax for the sake of having a good fight or just, being a strong leader. We then see Mongol state later in the comics that Sinestro is far beyond any power a lantern ring could grant. Now, this is a theme we see throughout this run, that Sinestro straight up scales above Yellow Lanterns and fear itself. Sinestro's will and power blatantly scales above a new god. We know this because Becca is forced to follow his command. In issue 16 of the Sinestro run, we actually see Black Adam meet up with Sinestro, and Black Adam refers to Sinestro as a fellow god. That's how high up in power Sinestro is, but it's also how much respect Sinestro has from fellow powerhouses in the universe. We also see at this time Shazam has a run-in with the Paling, Black Adam gets infected and really struggles. And this highlights how Sinestro has actually way better hacks resistances than Black Adam, which is very impressive because Black Adam has fought the Justice League before on his own. He's no pushover. It's then revealed later on in a battle with the Pale Army that fear is the oldest deity and the strongest among all religions and cultures. It's the ultimate power. So fear should actually scale above the gods pretty easily. And we're given more, clarification on this subject later in this run. Now, fear is shown, and this is one of the wildest parts, to be beyond the duality of good and evil. It is important to note this because Sinestro overpowered fear itself. So he overpowered something that scales above good and evil. That's absolutely nuts. In Sinestro issue 20, Sinestro gets into a mind/soul will battle with the Pale Bishop. The Bishop is a former guardian of the universe who has the power of anti-emotion. Basically, at this point, anti-emotion seems to almost be the equivalent of emotion power, so it's almost like having a full emotion behind you. Plus, he's a former guardian, so he already has that power as his base. In this battle, Sinestro wins the mental and soul warfare. This happened because it was a battle for his emotions and his free will, so it happened on many levels, and he was simply too much for the Pale Bishop to overcome. Even for the Pale Bishop, who I already commented on his power and where, he should scale as a Guardian. As you know, a Guardian wants Suicide Bomb, Superboy Prime, and BFR into him. They're no joke. Even for a character like that with the anti-emotion amp, standing against the fears of Sinestro is stated to be impossible. Finally, I just want to wrap this up with saying, if you want to see more Sinestro video or Lantern videos, definitely hit the like button and let me know down in the comment section below. Sinestro is a lot stronger than I thought. His new 52 run was absolutely great. If you want to get into Sinestro, definitely think you should check that run out. It's very entertaining and he's super powerful. But yeah, as I showed throughout these crazy feats, Sinestro is one of the strongest characters we've seen in New 52 in terms of the main cast. He casually scaled above Superman, Wonder Woman, one-shot Green Lantern, said he could one-shot an entire corps, was facing characters that were one-shotting corps. I mean, he was absolutely nuts. And if you want to see a part 2 to this, where I go over other feats from other iterations, let me know. Anyways, it's been your favorite villain. Once more, shout out to Lumos for helping me gather all the info. It's been your boy, your favorite villain, and I will see y'all later. Peace.